Right. So what I wanted to talk about is how do I choose which bowls to trim, or how do I figure it out? So when I grab a bowl after they've been drying for a while, first you throw it like this. Halfway through, I flip it over, let it dry like this. And then I want to see, is this ready? First thing I would do is just squeeze the edge. And if this feels like leathery hard is a term, then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is good. And if you see what I'm squeezing on this, it kind of breaks a little bit, but it doesn't like crack. It just kind of squishes, but it's not looking too soft. It's halfway in between. That's what we call leathery hard. Another way to do it is if I take my hand and I go to here where it's thicker and I have a dry hand, I go like this. If nothing really comes off, then I know that that's probably pretty good. If I go right here and it gets chalky white, then I know it's too dry. So this one to me seems about perfect. If I did all those things I just said with this one, like if I go like this and squish, notice how the whole thing kind of wrinkles and starts to form in. Like see how I shoved clay in when I did that? This just seems a little wet. If I go like this with this hand, and go along the edge. See how I pick up a little bit of clay on my finger? So I think that this is very, very close, probably half an hour or so, depends on what the humidity is. This one will be ready, but it's not quite ready. So once again though, however, if I did this and I went like this and it was all dry and chalky, that would mean it's too dry and I don't want to deal with that. So since this is the one that I've chosen to use, now I want to figure out how am I going to trim it. Like I need to figure those things out. Like meaning how much clay do I have on the bottom? How much can I take off? So I would look on the inside of this and I would see how it's round. And then I would guess, where does this roundness, where does that meet this foot? So by going right here, I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to guess, where do I think I'm pushing up to right there? And I'm going to make a mark. And so now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to guess, where do I think I'm pushing up to right about there. So I'm going to take this finger and I'm going to make a mark. So if I flip this over now, I made that mark. That's where, somewhere in there is where I think it's the safest. So that means that all of this clay right here is all really thick. And I could almost, if you imagine like a nail, I could keep taking all this clay out from here out, could just indefinitely go down if I followed this angle of the pot. I don't know if my words are working, but that's what I'm trying to say is I can figure that out, how thick this clay is, what I can take away based on what it looks like inside, if that helps you out. That's all I got.